Hi friends and family on Facebook. I want to share something with you. I've been doing a lot of research about dyslexia because it's a disorder that I have, and I'm going to be doing a series on my YouTube channel, Almost a Board Gamer, about dyslexic gaming. So I've been reading a lot of articles and watching a lot of videos online about the disorder, which is a brain disorder that prevents an otherwise intelligent person from being able to read rapidly and automatically. Our brains as dyslexic people are just wired differently than the average person, and it takes a really long time to master the skill of reading and spelling, and we're also just in general a lot slower, about 5 times slower than the average person when it comes to reading. And anyway, when doing this research, I've heard so many analogies that people have shared trying to explain to someone that doesn't have dyslexia what it feels like to have the disorder. And I feel like none of them have quite captured it, because it is a very distinct feeling of shame and inadequacy that it's hard to describe and hard to relate to unless you're in the situation. But I've thought of an analogy, so I'm going to share it. So imagine you're in a classroom setting and everyone is putting together model ships, like with the big sails and all the tiny ropes and all the tiny wooden pieces. And everyone's given all the same pieces and all the same instructions. Everyone starts and you get to work by organizing all of your pieces and really like getting in order. And then you look around and you realize people have started, people have their boats together, and you don't, and you're trying to figure out, well, okay, how do I get this together now? How do I get the pieces to stick together? And then you realize the teacher's coming around already to check everyone's progress. The person next to you, like, is doing very well. His whole boat is finished. He just has to do the masts and the ropes and sails and stuff. So she says, wow, that's great. You're coming along very nicely. She comes to you. You don't have a single piece together. And she says, wow, I think you have a time management problem. I'm really disappointed that you haven't put any effort into this project. And you say, oh, well, it's not that I'm not trying. I just don't know how to stick the pieces together. And she says, well, there's a picture. You all have the same pieces. You need to just start putting it together. And she walks away and you're like figuring out, like, why isn't this working? And you realize everybody around you has super glue. Where do I get super glue? I don't have any glue. So you go over to the person next to you and you say, where do you get the super glue? And they say, what are you talking about? I'm just sticking my pieces together and I'm building my boat. And you don't want to sound like an idiot. So you say, okay. Then you go ask your teacher and she says, we don't give out super glue. You just need to build your boat. And so you don't know what to do except to go in the kitchen and see if there's super glue in there. There's no super glue. So you need to make some glue. You take water, flour, mix it together, make a paste. This is going to have to do ya. So you go out to your model and you start pasting it together with your homemade glue. And it is taking you forever. It's taking forever to dry. So at this point, everyone else is done with their model ship, and you are just beginning to paste your pieces together. It's very slow progress. You have to hold each piece till it dries. And when it's all said and done, you finally get your whole ship together with your homemade paste, and everyone else has made 5 models already. That is what it's like to have dyslexia. And the thing is, when you think about it, model ships aren't that cool, but the fact that you can realize you're missing something that everyone else is taking for granted. What they have is so awesome, such an amazing tool, they don't even realize it exists. And when you don't have it, you have to figure out how to make it on your own. And that is amazing life skill. So even though it's very difficult to have dyslexia, I don't think that people with it should feel self-confident or ashamed, but they should realize that they can achieve what other people do. They just have to work harder. And that's exactly what a lot of dyslexic people do. So that's what it's like. Maybe you know someone with dyslexia and this will help you relate a little bit better to them. So thank you for watching.